Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Arnon in the house for another Words of Wisdom with Arnon. So I'm excited to be here. Let's give everyone a moment to join. So we've got Facebook, we've got Instagram. Okay, good to see you guys. So exciting talk today. And what we want to discuss is we want to talk about how to hire and build a championship team. How to hire the right people, how to build a championship team. I always say, when people tell me, oh, I'm a self-made man, or I'm a self-made woman, I always say there is no such thing. At one point in time, every single one of us had angels or had people or maybe just one person that showed up and helped us elevate our game to the next level. So, good to see you guys. Timo, good to see you. Good to see all of you guys. Yes, excited to be talking about this subject because one of the biggest distinctions, and I teach this in my Business Owners Masterclass, Robert Kiyosaki, he talks about how there's 4 different ways inherently how you would earn money or do business, right? So you could be an employee, a self-employed person, a business owner, or an investor. Okay, so remember, employee, self-employed, business owner, or investor, right? Four different areas of the way of playing the game. And I always say to people in my masterclass, I always say, look, the scariest jump is for people to go from employee to self-employed. In other words, they own a business, okay? That tends to be the scariest jump from going from being employee to self-employed. However, the hardest jump is to go from employee to business owner. What is the difference between a self-employed person and a business owner? Well, one of the biggest distinctions is that a business owner has a team of people around him, a team of people around her that supports the vision and elevates the products, the services, the company to the next level. So, in a moment, I'm going to share with you 3 key secrets that you need to understand, you need to grasp, you need to wrap your head around. 3 key ideas. If you're going to hire a team, build a business, you need to take into consideration. And as always, I've got an amazing book right here that is probably one of the most powerful books you can use to hiring the right people. So I'm going to give that recommendation in a few minutes. So let's dive right into it. So first of all, good to see all of you here. Excited about having this session with you guys. How do we build a championship team? How do we hire the right people? 3 key things. Number 1, it all boils down to what I call a code of honor. People call it company values. Some people call it, companies, company or business ethics. In other words, how you play the game and what is important to the values in that business, the values of the business owner or the values of the leadership or values of the entity in general. I call it having a code of honor. In fact, every single one of my coaching clients and the people that are in my team, whether it's my companies in the UK, my business in the Netherlands, every single employee in my business has to, before we even get started, look at my code of honor, review my code of honor, and sign my code of honor. Those are my in-house employees, my team members. Why? Because I want to make sure that we speak the same language. We have our values aligned. So here's some things that are on my code of honor that protects my team and to make sure that we all speak the same language. So here's a few things. First thing, right? When hiring people, I let them look at my code of honor. So it's a 1-pager document, and there's there's things listed there in terms of how we play the game. What are the rules of engagement with us? One of those pieces is, for example, do whatever it takes to win legally, morally, and ethically. Okay, I want to create a community, a tribe of winners. Very important. Another piece of my code of honor is take full responsibility, no blaming, no justifying, and no denying. Okay? Because I don't want anybody on my team or in my tribe to start laying blame on others. It's his fault, it's her fault. Oh, it's not my responsibility. So I want people that are responsible for their actions and for themselves. I'll give you another piece of code of honor. A very important one, which is one of my values, is never abandon a team member in need. So sometimes we might be working on a deadline. Sometimes it's all hands on deck. If you have a team member that is struggling, that needs support, and guess what? It's 5 p.m. and it's time to go home, you don't just leave. You don't just walk out. If you have a team member struggling, right, you never abandon a team member in need. So that's another piece of my code of honor. And I teach this. Like I said, I teach this at my Business Owners Masterclass, right? I'll give you one more before we move on to the second point. Another important part of my code of honor, right, is everybody must sell. Listen closely. If you're going to join my organization, if you're going to join my company, right, at whatever position, you must sell. Now, it doesn't mean that if you are being hired as the CEO or the housekeeper or the janitor or the secretary or the customer relations manager, that you actively have to go out and knock on doors and make sales. What it means is that all my businesses deal in products and deal in services. Who uses products and who uses services? People, other people, right? And I know that if I'm hiring a person in my business, it is most likely that they know other people, yes? And so I don't expect them to actively go out and knock on doors and pick up phones to make calls, make active sales calls. But when they're talking with people, people they know, people they love, people they care about, people that might be in their tribe, if we have a product or service that could help them, then I want my team to actively talk about our products, our services that can help that person. So everybody must sell. Does that make sense? Okay, it's very important. Oftentimes I see organizations leaving the selling only to the sales team, but that's not true. If you're answering the phone in a business, if you have a secretary answering the phone in the business, that is your first opportunity to sell, right? And you don't have to sell the product, you don't have to sell the service, but you can sell our values. You can sell how much we care. You can sell our language, right? The language you speak in your company, you can sell that. There's many sales that need to happen, small sales that need to happen before the client actually makes the big purchase, right? He has to be sold on you as a business. He has to be sold on your values. He has to be sold on how you take care of your clients. He has to be sold on, your products and services. Do they deliver what they're supposed to deliver? So there's many sales in a business that need to be made. And sometimes the secretary is the best person to make that sale. And so in my code of honor, everybody must sell. So those are a few things that I use when I'm hiring people, okay? They've got to go through the code of honor. They've got to understand the code of honor, and they have to agree to the code of honor. And if they don't, that's okay. but they will not work with me. And I rather find this out sooner than later. Which brings me to point number 2, golden nugget number 2. When you're building a championship team, when you're hiring, one of the things that stops teams being great teams is not the hiring process. It is actually the firing process. I always say to my clients, I do a lot of coaching, I work with a lot of business owners, and I always say to them, we want to hire slowly and fire quickly, okay? Now, it doesn't mean that if someone's not doing a good job, we fire them straight away. Or someone is struggling at their role at the company, we fire them straight away. That's not what I'm saying, okay? Let me be very clear. So we hire slowly. What does that mean? We speak to the person. I've recently even jumped onto interviews to interview a candidate for one of my coaching clients because they wanted me to get to know this person. They wanted me to ask this person questions. They wanted me to test their mindset, test their psychology, see and feel their values, right? So you want to make the hiring process a slow but thorough process. The firing process, and this is one of the things that holds companies back, right, is they don't fire quick enough. And what does that mean? If you have a person in the business that isn't showing up, that isn't doing his or her work effectively, efficiently, and is not getting results, ultimately, first of all, it's you as the business owner that needs to take responsibility. Either you haven't provided them their tools that they need to do the job, maybe you haven't trained them properly so that they can do the job, right? So we always got to first look inside before we look outside. We always got to look at ourselves as business owners, as business leaders, and take responsibility. If someone's not performing in your business, it is your fault. Number one. First, it's your fault. So what you're going to do is provide more coaching, more training, more tools, and more support for that person to do the best job they can do. Make sense? However, if that person still is not showing up, cannot deliver, then what I would recommend is find out what that person is really good at and try to position them or reposition them on the field in a different role, taking upon different responsibilities. If, again, that person cannot deliver, cannot show up, then it's probably better you go separate ways. And that's what I mean when firing quickly. I know people that they have someone employed in the company that has been working there for so long, right? But they're so emotionally attached to this person, they can't say to the person, listen, it's better that we go separate ways. And it drags on, and it drags on, and it drags on, and it drags on. And they end up both being miserable because that person is unhappy because they can't deliver, they're not enjoying their job. And you as the owner, you're upset because you're not getting the results you want and you're paying a good salary. And so what you want to do is you want to identify, have you provided the tools? Have you given this person the support? Have you coached and trained this person? Have you created the environment for them to succeed and succeed big? That's the first question we need to ask. We need to look inside. If the answer is yes, we've done everything possible and more, but the person is still not getting it, then maybe they're in the wrong position, right? Maybe you've got a striker in a goalkeeper's position and that's not going to serve the business, okay? So we want to make sure these people are moved into the right position. So that's the second point. So we want to hire slowly and we want to fire quickly, okay? And the third key for building a championship team is create competition. I have a client right now that is about to hire a new person in his company. It's a husband and wife. They're about to hire a new person for their company, right? There's a role that's just been made available. And what we've decided to do is to host an evening, a 90-minute evening where we have put out online that there is a position available. We've received, I think by now, about 25 people who've sent in their CVs, their you know, their documents in terms of who they are, what are their experiences, so we can review them. And what we go about to do is actually happening next week, is we're inviting them for an evening, a 90-minute evening, where we do a presentation telling about our business, what do we do, how we help people, how we add value to the marketplace, talk about our values, right? What is important for us? How do we do things in the business? What is the tone we use? What is the energy we use, right? And then thirdly, talking about what is the position that is up for the taking, and what kind of person we're looking for. And after that 16-minute presentation, we're going to allow the 25 people to remove themselves, the people that they feel this is not the right opportunity for them, or this is not the right energy for them, or maybe they're not suitable for the role or for the commitment. So we allow the room to pre-select themselves. And then once the people stay in the room, let's say after 25 people start, let's say 10 people leave. So we're left with 15 people. Then what we do speed dating. We do speed dating, right? Not to take a person on a date, but to understand, we have the whole team there. So we've got like 4 or 5 people, not the whole team, but we've got a part of the team, the leadership team is there, 4 or 5 people doing 5-minute speed dates, right? So what's your background? Where are you from? Why should we hire you? What is your skill set? And then afterwards, we take a break, and then the leadership team will discuss the candidates. They go through the CVs, and they straight away say, no, this person is a no. This person's not going to match with our culture. Wow, this candidate. And you see the team starts to fight for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 candidates. And then once we've narrowed it down to the top 3, 4, 5, then they go to the next level. So I just want to put that in your mind. So when you hire, you can make it you must make it a thorough process, but also get your team involved. What you don't want to do is you don't want to hire a great person who doesn't know how to operate in a team, right? That's the last thing you want. Okay, so it's very important that you get that. So those were 3 tips. I hope you guys got that, right? Number 1, you guys remember what we said? We want to have our code of honor. We want to hire people based on our values, right? What is the company's values? What are our values? Number 2, very important. We want to hire slowly and fire quickly, especially after we've repositioned a person and it's still not working. We've provided the tools, the training, the support, the coaching, and they're still not showing up. We got to leave that person. We got to let that person move on to find a different opportunity. And third, like I said, create competition. Like I said, we're creating an event. We're getting people to all look at it together, to come together, to look at the opportunity together, for them to pre-select themselves, and then we do a lightning round or a dating round to see who fits the business. So those are 3 keys. Now, as I promised, I have a great book here that I'm going to recommend to all you business owners out there, all you business leaders out there. This, in my opinion, is one of the best books for hiring. The book is called Who. It's called Who. And it says here, solve your number 1 problem. Knowing what to do is not the major challenge faced by executives. Finding who to do it is. So this book is called Who. Yeah, you guys can see it there. Again, I don't get any commissions from the book. I just want to add value to all of you. Great book. Highly, highly recommend it. It will save you a lot of pain when building a championship team. So I hope you guys got value. I want to wish all of you an amazing day, a blessed week. Stay strong, stay in your power, stay healthy. And I'll be here same time, same place next week to share with you some more golden nuggets. Till then, be great. Ciao.